Back to our brain health series. For those of you who have not met me, I'm Sarah Hopkins, Senior Physiotherapist and Director at Hibiscus Neuro Rehab. This is episode 4 in our brain health series. Today I'm going to be talking about nutrition and brain health. So, what we put into our body matters, not only as fuel, but also it provides signaling through the nutrients and chemical messages to our body, and this creates changes in what we do, and especially in our brain. We're learning more and more about what happens between the brain and the gut, and there's a huge link between the vagus nerve, which was one of the cranial nerves that links between the brain stem and the gut itself. And there are signaling and chemical messages going up and down there all the time in the way of serotonin, and can have a really real impact on our overall brain health as well. So most people are aware that food can be good or bad, although it's not. I think sometimes we should be talking about food as sometimes food and food that we should be having more often. So we always hear a lot about what a healthy heart diet is, or a healthy diet for our heart. But what about food for the brain? We know that a heart healthy diet is also good for the brain. It's important to remember as we're doing rehabilitation, which we do with a lot of our clients, that taking in the right amount of fuel is important. Things like managing protein to build muscle, thinking about having a lot of water, because our brains are made up 70% of water, so we're keeping well hydrated, and thinking about having large quantities of fresh vegetables and fruit. We also know that the brain really likes good fats, things like omega-3s from salmon, and sometimes people will talk about olive oil, which can be beneficial to the brain. Overall, though, when you are thinking about eating for a healthy brain, we're thinking about making sure our diet is low in inflammatory foods. So we know that foods that are provide or cause a lot of inflammation in the body can be damaging to the brain itself. So we're thinking about our highly processed foods and just normal processed foods, so things with like more than 5 ingredients. Lots of cakes, biscuits, packaged foods like that can be processed and can cause an inflammatory response in our body, which will affect our brain. We also know that things that contain seed oils, so even things like canola and rice bran, can be quite inflammatory for the body, things like margarine, and these can have a detrimental effect to the brain overall. And we know that foods high in sugar can also cause inflammation within the system, and then look to change the regulation of your blood sugar levels, which does have an effect on the brain itself. So what we need to make sure is that we're having a good variety of food, making sure we're having some good quality protein, lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, and these are some really good things that you can be putting into your body that's going to support a healthy brain as well. So that's all I'm going to talk to you today about food intake for the brain. Just one further point is we know that these diets also play not only a role in brain health, but thinking about our mental health as well. So when I'm talking about brain health, I'm really talking about things like cognition and how our brain actually functions, whereas the food we know has a huge impact on our overall mental health. So all these factors do work towards or impact on depression and anxiety with what we're taking into our body, which is worth thinking about. Okay, so that's all I'm going to talk to you about today for nutrition and brain health. I look forward to speaking with you next time in our brain health series, where we're going to be talking about stress and brain health. Have a good day.